Hey, I'm Molly Sims.
And I'm Emese Gormley. We're two girls obsessed with one thing: beauty.
And by that, we mean everything that makes you look
And feel.
beautiful.
We're calling on our favorite health experts, industry insiders, and friends to answer all your beauty questions.
With a drink in hand.
Definitely with a drink in hand.
You're listening to Lipstick on the Rim with Molly Sims. Okay, controversial question, Emese. Is it actually bad to buy something new if you already have 12 versions of it at home?
Are you actually asking me this question? I mean, do you not know who your best friend is? Which category should I talk about my multiples in?
Today's guest has basically become the internet's financial best friend. She's funny, she's honest, and impossible to scroll past. She spent years watching people get crushed by debt, confusion, and financial advice that felt like it wasn't written for them. She noticed something else too. Nobody was teaching women to think about money without shame or complicated jargon attached, which we talk about. So she became the internet's first real financial influencer, turning memes and pop culture into actual education, which is why we love her for millions of people. She has a New York Times bestseller called Future Rich Person. Haley Sachs, you're incredible. You just got named one of the 100 most influential creators of the year for Time Magazine. AKA Mrs. Dow Jones is in the house. The new rules for building wealth. I love it. I love the title of the book. If you're stuck, if you're broke, and that billionaire won't text you back.
That is so good.
It's so good. We love talking about, I'm much more comfortable with talking about money because I grew up talking about money. I feel that money is energy, but we have so many friends that
Don't.
want to talk about money, that don't know their financial situations, that are scared, that feel like now that they've never asked and they're in relationships or not even married, they still don't know what to do, when to do it. I mean, we're so excited to have you on, so thank you.
Well, I love your show. I'm so excited to be here. And you know that I'm a huge fan of your brand and actually bought it without knowing it was yours. So
Love it. Okay, origin story.
yes.
From the beginning.
Okay.
You grew up in New York. Dad worked on Wall Street.
I had a Wall Street father, but he never brought his work home with him. And so I grew up on the Upper East Side, which I feel like everyone knows from Gossip Girl. And it has this, identity as being this super wealthy neighborhood. And I definitely felt that growing up. Like I could feel the energy of money pulsing around
Did you know
there.
you had money?
Well, what's so interesting is money is so relative. So because I was surrounded by families that were so wealthy, I never struggled for anything, but I also didn't think of myself as
One of them.
no, because it was so private planes and this and that. And, we were not at that level.
Did your dad talk to you about money?
No, because he didn't grow up with anything, and he talked about money so much at work, and he saw, so much of what he talked about is generational wealth. And something that's so interesting about generational wealth is, the culture hates nepo babies and they hate kids who came into the world with anything, but they also want to know how to do it for their children.
100%.
Yes,
100%.
it's this crazy dichotomy. And so for him, I think he saw so many families because he's a private wealth manager struggling with their kids who had money or didn't have grit, didn't have determination, all of these stereotypes of, wealthy kids. And so he didn't want that to happen to us. So he just never talked about it.
I heard someone saying this the other day recently in a conversation that some people set their trusts up, like that generational wealth, they set their trusts up to skip a generation. So, hypothetically speaking, dad doesn't leave the trust for his son because he wants his son to work hard and value money, but it's set up for the grandson.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also a tax thing. There's all these different kind of trusts. So when you do that, you get tax breaks. So you could set up multiple trusts where one is for your son and then one's for your grandson.
You worked for David Letterman.
Yes.
You worked for Lorne Michaels.
Yes.
How did you make this career? How did you become Mrs. Dow Jones from working for comedians?
Well, it all makes so much sense in retrospect. I feel like we can all say that with our stories or whatever, that we take little things from different pieces. But I always wanted to create, and I was obsessed with like having a voice, having an audience. And I don't think I really understood initially how I was going to get there or what I was going to talk about. So I was obsessed with Mindy Kaling and Tina Fey. And it was like that generation of those female comedians, and they all had half-hour shows. And so I went to film school. I
You have
wrote
a
a
background in comedy.
yeah, background in comedy, but I don't think I ever really loved talking that much about myself, and I wanted to understand how to have an impact, but I couldn't really put it together, and then simultaneously, money was my biggest wound. So it was the thing that I really avoided, that I, took no ownership of. I didn't believe in myself as someone who was ever going to be able to manage it, or, what you're saying at the beginning, I'm not a numbers person, or, all these things that we say to ourselves, especially as women, that keep us stuck. I am patient zero. Like, I feel like there's a lot of financial experts who are like, oh, I was hustling my lemonade stand. I was putting it in the market. Like, this came naturally for me. And no, no, girls, like, let's be real. It was a shit show. I'm patient zero. And I really feel like if I can do it, anyone can do it.
So that's what motivated you, because typically, like, people in this, position have a background in finance. You were motivated from learning it for yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, what really happened was with Lorne Michaels, which was a big break for me because I think we were all worried about Haley. Like I was, I was working at Pilates studio while nannying for this kid named Winthrop, and then on the side making internet videos, and at night doing stand up. And it was like, and the internet videos were not doing well. Like it was like fun armpit hairstyles for summer. Like it was not, there was no brand, there was no dry. I was just like trying for virality, really not succeeding. But I use that to get the job with Laura Michaels. They're like, oh, she can make digital content. That's what we need. Great. She's funny. We do it. And then the first day, they asked me about 401ks and health insurance and all these things that no one had ever taught me. And I never had a full-time job. And so I was like, fuck, I cannot lose this job. It's a big moment for me. Like, I have a job, like it's a full-time one. Like I'm in Midtown. I'm getting off the train with corporate America. Like, it's a huge moment. And so then I went to go learn about it that night. I was like, hold tight. Like, I got this. Like, I'll let you know about the
I'm gonna
401k
go learn about
tomorrow.
401ks.
Yeah, I'm going to learn this. And so then I went to learn. And it was either like these guys who had never been through puberty, who were like trying to tell me on investing with so much jargon, or it was content for women that was so based in deprivation. Like I remember that night learning about rewashing paper towels. Like it was just so like, okay, you have to be so austere and restrictive in order to be considered good with money. You cannot spend. And like as women, we're just, we can't be trusted. We're just going to spend it all. And it's like, no, actually women like control the finances in most households in America. Like we're better investors than men when we actually do it. Like everything is set up for us to think that we are incapable of this, because the less money that we have, the less power we have, and that keeps the patriarchy going. And so, I mean, and I uncovered, it was literally like being in National Treasure, or like a Nicolas Cage movie, where it was like, I'm like seeing all the signs on the wall, and I'm like, whoa, it all goes together in this crazy way. But most importantly, what happened that night was I was just like, this isn't that hard.
It's so funny. I remember my ex-boyfriend, my first boyfriend I moved to New York with, and I was like, want to break up with you. He looked at me and he goes, you're never going to make it. Like, you don't even know how to pay a bill. You don't know how to you've never written a check. Like, you don't know how to do this. I went from living with my parents to living with him. And it was a control mechanism.
Which, by the way, happens to so many women, especially where it's, yeah, you go from one person taking care of you to another. And especially in the household, a lot women are doing so much unpaid labor that's so taxing, that then if you have a partner who says, hey, I'll take care of the finances, you say, great, take care of the finances. I'm already cooking dinner.
Well, look at Belle Burden.
I was just
We
gonna
had
say
Belle
Belle Burden.
Belle
on.
was
I
on my
mean,
show too. Yeah,
it's crazy.
I know.
Crazy.
I know.
But I think sadly, that is a lot of women. I do think, yes, there
I
are.
just think that women have been brought up to A, don't talk about money, B, play it safe, and
Let the husband do it, or let the boyfriend do it. Or
let your boyfriend do it. You're not that smart.
Yeah.
I think this is why you're, resonating so much right now, is because you're really helping women have power. And it's really amazing.
Thank you. There was a story that I was reading that applies so much to this, about one of the biggest divorce settlements in history. And it is this man in South Korea who's the chairman of the company that makes the chips for NVIDIA. So he's making bank, like he's a billionaire. And 34 years ago, he married this woman who is the president of South Korea, who's the president of South Korea's daughter. And so he's building his career. The woman is taking care of the kids, maintaining the household, and then also using all of her political connections to help him gain
Build
stuff.
this company.
100%. And what does the man do? Has a child out of wedlock. And he's like, I want a divorce. And so he tries to give her like $45 million something, which is a lot, but paltry compared to the sum that he's accumulated. And she was like, no, actually, the reason he's able to be successful is that I was holding down the home front so he could go, go to the office and do all these other things. We were a team. I was basically a co-founder, but it was a iconic ruling of the court because they ruled in favor of her, and she's getting $644 million. Yep. And it just to me is like an amazing moment. Obviously, we're not all married to billionaires, but if you're a woman who's at home and you are holding down the front and your partner is at work and whatever, make sure that you have at least a spousal IRA, because that's something that you don't need taxable income to contribute to, but you can still have money growing in the stock market in a tax advantaged way through that account.
How do you unteach women to not play it safe?
I think that financial confidence follows financial action. So you're never going to wake up one day being like, I'm not going to play it safe anymore. Like, I'm going to flip that switch. Like, it really starts with just forcing yourself to do these small financial tasks or start to take control. And then that will make you confident. But I think it's misguided to think that your mindset will shift before you have evidence that you are doing something different.
If a woman feels behind financially right now, what's the mindset shift that has to happen before these tactics even matter?
I always tell people to think about what their first money memory was. Research shows that our relationships with money are set by the time we're like 7. I want you to unpack where it all started, because then you can sort of see, oh, this is how I was brainwashed. It has actually nothing to do with me and like my ability to do this. It just has to deal with the messaging that I've got. Same way you're on Instagram and I might see 12 ads for a totem dress, and then what's going to happen? I'm buying the totem dress. It's the same thing. If you are seeing, you're getting all this feedback that like money's not for you, or maybe there's not enough of it, so you feel like you have to hoard it, or, it's going to go away, or just any of these messages that we get when we're little, that's how you're going to act.
I just don't think they talk about money enough.
You have to talk about it with your girlfriends. Talking about money with your girlfriends. And that's why I love Belle Burden. Love her just as a gal, but also I'm like, we as Americans, I feel like we have this history of like folk tales and like storytelling is a way for us to understand our lives. And she broke through. So she like story told in a way that then I was at a baby shower, I'm at a dinner, everywhere that I was, women were reading the book and wanted to talk about it. And then it was this amazing vessel to talk about their own finances.
Totally. And awakening and going, oh, wait, why do I not know what I'm signing? I think that's the thing that so many people.
You're married, you've been married for 10, 15 years. You read your book. You're like, I don't know where anything is. We don't like, what advice would you say to that person with their partner? Like, how would you go in and be like, I kind of want to know what's going on?
I think that it is specific to your relationship with your partner, but the biggest thing with money is to make it non-emotional. Like, that's the whole key, because I always say in business, grr gets grr. Like, even if someone pisses me off or I have an employee who's doing a bad job or something, like just in your life too, like if you are grr towards someone, they're going to be grr back. And it's the same thing with money. Like if you come in and you start being really accusatory to your partner or upset or any of these things, that's what they're going to meet you with. But if you're non-emotional and you come at it from like a really logical perspective, then I think that you will be able to get somewhere.
Also, I think
That makes sense.
it makes sense.
That's actually a great piece of advice in everything.
Yeah.
Energy means
gets-
energy.
Yeah, totally. And because of this whole relationship with money for when you're little, you don't know your partner's money relationship might be really messed up too. And so asking them about it could make them feel really insecure, that then you think that they're taking advantage of you, and then it causes this whole thing and it's traumatic. So I think just being neutral is really good. I really like the idea of blaming it on a celebrity or on me. Oh, Prince never had a will. Isn't that crazy? Should we have a will? Yeah. Oh, Mrs. Dow Jones on Instagram. Do you see? She said we should have a money date. Should we try that?
Summer's winding down, and just like that, you're back in it. The question is whether your closet is ready for it. And that's exactly what Macy's is here for. Start with a formula, a fun print, an asymmetric hem, something with a little movement to it. That's your base. From there, it's not about adding more, it's about adding smarter. Because right now, summer and fall are basically arguing with each other. You leave the house in one season and you come home in another. So the real trick is layers that move with you. A little light sweater you wear when the afternoon cools down, or tailored jackets that take you straight from drop off to whatever next is on your schedule. And once the staples and the layers are handled, that's when the details do the real work. A structured shoulder bag you can fit your whole day into, a few pieces of jewelry that make even your most simple outfit sparkle. And if picking it all out isn't your thing, Macy's in-store stylist will do it for you. And guess what, guys? It's completely free. However chaotic your mornings get this fall, your outfit doesn't have to be one more thing to think about it, because God knows we have a lot to think about. Macy's has everything you need to make getting dressed the easiest part of your day.
You know that when you've tried everything, diets, workouts, willpower, and you're still stuck? This summer, that can actually change. Weight Loss by Hers gives you access to an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, including the Wegovy pen and the Wegovy pill. With Wegovy at Hers, you can lose up to 20% of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. It actually helps you regulate your appetite so you eat less and manage to keep the weight off. And since it's the first ever GLP-1 pill for weight loss, there's no needles required. Everything happens online. You'll connect with a licensed provider, and if prescribed, your medication ships straight to your door. No insurance necessary. Are you ready to reach your goals? Visit forhers.com/lipstick to get personalized, affordable care that gets you. That's forhers.com/lipstick. forhers.com/lipstick. Weight Loss by Hers is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk AS. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information, and restrictions, visit forhers.com.
You have this thing called a financial reality check. Talk about that.
Well, I think it's important when you start your financial journey, and if we're talking specifically maybe about women who are in marriages and they want to take control of their finances. And so I want to give really actionable advice. And so I would say first things first, drop an anchor. So what that might mean is that if you have a spouse that you're managing money with, understand, okay, what assets do we have? What credit cards do we have? What banks do we have? How much is your income? What are our taxes? Get a full financial picture. What is not examined will never change.
We love your whole philosophy on investing in yourself to set yourself up to be worth more. Can you break that down for us, and where does that actually start?
I mean, human capital is financial capital, and I am all about women making more money. Like, I hate deprivation. I don't want to cut back. If you're bleeding money, and you have a spending problem, which like many people in America do, debt, buy now, pay later, like we're in this influencer culture where we're told all the time to buy things. That's a separate problem than what we're talking about. But if you simply are like really trying and it feels like you're on just this treadmill on an incline and you can't get anywhere, chances are you need to make more money. And it's not to say that you can't. You probably just have never asked for more.
Women, especially, are afraid to ask for the raise. They're afraid to have the conversation. I want my friends to make money. I want them to do whatever, I don't know, share the wealth. Like, let's go.
That's how I feel too. And there's so much out there. Like, there's an unlimited amount of money and opportunity. So like the more that you feel like there is scarcity,
You got to spend money to make money too. I mean, I don't know if I know that's probably not your philosophy, but it's my philosophy.
oh, I believe in, well, I mean, there's so many ways to break that down. So first we were talking about investing in yourself. So I think that's a lot when it comes to the workplace of, building your skills, building your network, but like making yourself valuable, that's something you can control. Like everyone's so scared of AI. Get good at AI. Like things like this that are controllable, like this will make you more valuable. But then when it comes to investing in yourself, I also really believe in that as well. And all the data shows that women actually make more money the better they look.
You talk about doing a full spending audit, actually going through your statements line by line. What should someone actually be looking for when they sit down to do that? Because it can be daunting, but there is AI to actually help you feed all that stuff into. And it's not that daunting anymore.
No, I was going to say, I'm so happy that you mentioned that. And everyone has a different level of comfort with the data, sharing data. But there's ways to share your statements where they won't have your information, or it will just have like Starbucks, like $6, just the bank statements, whatever, credit card statements. But when I started doing these money dates, girl, like it was a long time. The AI is a huge hack.
The amount of subscriptions that
Oh,
you
yeah.
sign up for, your kids sign up for, your husband sign, your partner, your friends, whatever. You have to go in and cancel the subscriptions. I literally saved myself $1,500.
To a degree, like what you're saying, take a hard look at your finances. I think it's kind of like people that are afraid to go to the doctor. It's probably not going to be as bad as you think it is, but you're holding yourself back from doing it because you think it's a lot scarier than it really is.
A money date is something that you should do every month where you look at your finances. And I think it's really important to be honest that like you probably aren't going to want to do it. But the more that you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get.
I did it with my company. I started having more employees, right? Like, I'll buy everybody coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll buy everybody lunch.
Yeah.
What was it? $25,000? It was something crazy that over like 2 years.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Like, I mean,
It's a salary for someone.
Totally.
and listen,
I know.
I'm super generous,
You're a
but
generous person.
again, we're not a team of 4,
yeah.
right? We're a
Yeah, it
team
has to
of
be, now you realize why like corporations are like, oh, we're gonna do like lunch this like one day a quarter or whatever, like those things are actual expenses. And it's hard when you run your business like you run a family, which I feel like as women too, and as entrepreneurs, like it's very easy. And I have that relationship with my employees too, where it's like, you want it to feel warm and like you're sharing and all that stuff.
You have a rule about waiting 3 days before making a purchase. You've called it the GOAT. Why does that one thing work so well?
It really works.
I do it.
To me, it's emotional regulation. Like sometimes when I'm stressed, I will go just shop. Like I'm scrolling on the
Retail
Real Reel.
therapy, literally.
Yeah, it's so because you're buying this version of you. I always say the best thing a girl can have is a printer because you got to get those packages out of your house and returned as soon as possible if you slip and fall and make an impulse purchase. And it's not the end of the day. Like I do it too. But I do think the wait 3 days before you pay rule is so amazing.
I'm like, do I really need it? Am I really gonna wear
Well, I
it?
hate the
You're
Google
you're
Lens.
amazing at it.
I'm like, I really like.
I have
I've
to
had-
talk her into half her purchases.
Like, she would talk me
I
into
literally
this
saw
dress
those
and-
at Neiman's in LA, and
They're
I
so
put them
cute.
on hold for her under her name and took a picture. And I was like, I think you're gonna need these. Like
These
that's
are
also the sign
Chanel-
of a really good friend.
It's a sign. She's a really good gift whisperer. You talk about identifying a few categories that actually bring you joy and spending intentionally there instead of restricting everywhere. What are yours? Like, what are you going to spend the money on?
I spend money on beauty and like self-care. I
I
definitely
can tell you look amazing.
like I love micro needling. Botox does not work on me. I would be getting Botox if it worked.
She
but
goes,
I'm
I'm jealous of every forehead that's
Yes.
very clear.
Yes, I'm not trying to be brave. Like this is not me being brave. It's literally, it doesn't work. But micro needling, Sculptra, facials, like I love all of that.
Do you invest in designer? Like, do you invest in good pieces?
I buy secondhand luxury bags. So
Will you talk about that? Because
Yeah.
now, I mean, did you see the whole thing with Rolex? Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
it's crazy. So I think that look, it's like buying a car or a boat. Like with luxury purchases, the moment that you buy it, that's the most it's ever going to be worth. And so I think there's a lot of advice for women about investment pieces and buy this bag and it's going to, buy the Kelly, buy the Birkin, you're going to be able to resell it. It's like, girl, there's a million literally 1 million Birkins on the resale market. And guess what? They're all the colors that you're going to get, which is the black, the taupe, the white. You're not getting funky. I know you're going to stick with the classic.
You're not getting the pink.
Yeah, you're not getting the pink and you're not getting the
Unless you're
crocodile
Morgan
because they're not offering
Morgan,
you
we
the-
love your pink.
Morgan has all the colors.
like women who are being told it's normal to spend 15K on a bag and they're making, not enough money to do that. And so I love luxury and I love fashion. And so it's a way to like get that taste, but also without being too trendy.
I think vintage is when I started modeling,
It's such a serve to be like, I'm going to the Time 100 event and I was with this girl before interviewing her and I was like, what are you wearing? And obviously I'm like wearing something from Net-a-Porter that like I got yesterday because I didn't have anything to wear. And she's like, a vintage Alaya. And suddenly I felt so small. I'm like, she is so much cooler than me. Like vintage,
Vintage Olaya, like
Yeah.
two words
I'm
together.
like,
I
oh,
love
okay.
those 2 words together.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, got it.
We have a real in my town, and I've taken Molly in it. I have found treasures.
Oh,
in
well, I mean, the
there.
richer the town, the better the resale.
It is
Upper East Side.
unbelievable.
Oh, like what have we found?
Oh, I found a Miu Miu blouse for like $300. I
I
found
found a
her a
Miu
Miu Miu
Miu
shirt.
shirt that's so good. She found me this literally, I should say vintage, it was probably last season. The jean Celine that I've been
Oh, that's
wearing.
amazing.
So
I
I
got
wore
a
all
beautiful
summer.
Chanel cardigan that was $700 and probably sold originally for like, I mean,
The
I don't know,
real,
old.
the real,
no, the
real,
real world is a buyer's market. It's a
so good.
But that's just what I'm saying though. It's like you will not make money reselling your clothes. So like we all spend so much money on it because it's so fun, but it's like
You're
that's
getting
why it's
$200 or
yeah,
$400.
you get nothing. Like, oh my God, my ThreadUp account is like
What's the bag company that
Fashion File.
Fashion File and
Vivrel.
Vivrel
Is a
awesome.
great
Vivrel
concept. Do you know
is
Vivrel?
amazing.
I think it's a good concept, but like I'm about owning stuff. I think that Gen Z and millennials are too obsessed with renting. Like even right now, we're being told that we should rent iPhones. Klarna and are partnering with Apple because no one can afford anything. The cost of living and goods is so expensive. So now you can rent iPhones for $18 a month, which is great for people who need an iPhone. But I'm also like, there's a core problem here where it's like we're getting so used to having nothing.
Lease or buy your car?
I don't have a car. I would buy it, but I would buy secondhand.
You would.
Yeah, I would buy secondhand and I
lease.
That's
would.
not my card.
I lease.
Yeah. I mean, I think, but with a car, it's actually an interesting question because people ask me that all the time. And with most financial things, there's a truism that's like very black or white. But with cars, it's a little bit different because it really is about like your time horizon and like what's important to you and things like that. And so it's a bit more nuanced. I actually have a really old Jeep that I've had since college that I just got the battery replaced in. And it is, I mean, 20 years old, but it's in Massachusetts.
Yeah, my husband and I firmly disagree. I prefer to lease a car because I think if you own a car and once your warranty is up and shit starts going bad in it, you have to pay for it. And sometimes you end up paying more than the car's worth.
100%. Anytime that you own anything, like if you think about with a house too, when people sell a house, they think, oh my God, I made all this money. But you forget about the HVAC repair and how much you spent on the renovations and, all the money that you had to spend on this and that. And so you forget the cost of the asset. And that's why I love stocks because you don't have to lift a freaking finger.
Okay, so I want to talk about that. You said that you cannot save your way to becoming rich. Investing is the only way to actually grow your wealth. For someone who doesn't know where to begin with investing, how would you explain where to invest and what to invest in?
So if you've never invested before, the first thing you need to do is set up a brokerage account. So go to Fidelity, go to Vanguard, go to Schwab, and they're not the most new age platforms, but they're good. They'll do the trick. And they are going to ask you all those fun questions about your mother's maiden name and your social security. And you will have to link your bank statement, but you're safe. It's all good. And so it's basically like buying a gift card. So you link your bank statement and then you transfer money over, and then you have that money in the pot there to buy stocks with. But I don't recommend buying individual stocks. I recommend buying low cost index funds, which is basically like buying an eyeshadow palette. There's always like the few that are trash that you're never going to wear, but then there's like a few that are amazing that you're going to wear forever. And then there's a few that are medium that it's like, okay, once in a while I'm going
And
out.
how do you know
How do you pick?
how do you pick?
Well, it's very easy.
Follow Haley Sachs.
Well, no, I have on mrsdowjones.com the 4 index funds that I recommend for 2026. It's free. Everything I do really, I mean, besides the book is free because I believe financial advice should be free. And it'll email it to you, but you really just need a 2 to 3 fund portfolio. So you could get VTI, which is the entire US stock market, and VXUX, which is without America. So if you're someone who, want a little bit of your money outside of America, however you feel, good to have a little diversification. Good.
You know that feeling when rug shopping is somehow harder than it actually should be? You either fall for the gorgeous rug you're terrified to live on, or you settle for the washable one that looks super cheap the second it's in your space. There's no in between until Tumble. Tumble rugs are designed in-house with that designer look you actually want, but it's built for real life. Wine stains, muddy paws, everyday accidents, kids. That's exactly why Tumble rugs are spill-proof and machine washable. No more scrubbing on your hands and knees, and no more wondering if the rug will ever look the same after. And when you want want a deeper clean, the whole thing comes off and goes right in your washer, even the bigger sizes. Whether it's your living room, your entryway, or the kitchen where life gets messiest, Tumble has you covered. Machine washable rugs made better. For a limited time only, our listeners get 10% off and free shipping at tumbleliving.com/lipstick. That's TUMBLE living.com/lipstick. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Finding glasses that actually fit your face used to feel nearly impossible. Every style seemed outdated, and the whole process was just tedious. That's exactly why Warby Parker changed everything for me. Their virtual try-on is genuinely one of those, wait, that actually works moments. You just point your phone at your face, and you can see dozens of frames on you in real time. And when it comes to quality for the price, nothing really compares. Prescription glasses start at just $95, so you're not choosing between something that looks good and something you can afford. Warby Parker isn't just prescription glasses either. Contacts, online exams, and sunglasses all in one place. And if you'd still rather try things on in person, they've got over 300 stores around the country too. Oh, and here's the part that actually makes it even better. For every pair Warby Parker sells, they give a pair to someone in need. They've distributed over 20 million pairs so far, so when you shop with them, you're doing something good in the process. Right now, buy one pair of glasses and get 20% off any additional pairs at warbyparker.com/lipstick. That's 20% off any additional pairs when you purchase one pair at warbyparker.com/lipstick. Is your dad in awe of what you've built?
I mean, do your parents like keep up with your work? If your parent like
My dad has no clue what I do.
exactly. So there
But
you
your
go.
dad was in finance, so
He is
like,
in finance. He still works. Like he's obsessed. So
He
I mean,
must be so proud
so
of
proud.
you.
I think he's proud, but I also think it's like they don't like. I think one thing that is cool is to talk to your parents about their finances. And something that Mrs. Dow Jones has empowered me with is like the confidence to really do that with my parents. But I don't think you need to be Mrs. Dow Jones to do that. But the thing is that we're in this splinter generation where you're taking care of raising kids and you're taking care of your parents. And it's weighs on you financially, both sides. And so I really think as soon as you can to have those conversation with your parents, and you could use the way in that we talked about of like the celebrity angle or, oh my God, did you see Kris Jenner's mom just died?
Get a will.
Yeah. Did she have a will? Do you have a will? Like get a will, know what their passwords are. Do a pod and a Todd, which basically makes sure that you stay out of probate and you can get access to their bank account and their investment accounts. I actually have, again, on mrsdowjones.com for free, a list of the 7 documents that you need in case you die. And download it and get it for your parents because you do not want to be mourning them and dealing with all of this work.
I mean, my dad constantly, and my mom passed away 12 years
So
ago,
sorry.
and my dad, is 88. And I mean, I want to say every 6 months, he's like, okay, so financially, like he has had his like manila envelopes, like
Oh, that's
labeled. I
so
mean,
good.
he's so organized.
I think it's the biggest gift that, and even with you guys, with your children, it's the biggest gift that you can give your children is to like have an organized estate and like be like really clear with them about like, here's what's going on.
I do have a question before we get to the next part, because you said renting versus buying. Do you believe in renting over buying real estate?
I rent in New York City though. So it's like, that makes sense here. I think there's this idea of the American dream that it is, we're going to have, 2 kids and the dog and the white picket fence and the house. And so people went for that without actually running the numbers of how much that would cost. And in many places, if you run the numbers, you will make more money renting and investing that down payment than you would buying the house. That being said, if it is your American dream to buy a house, it's not to say it's the wrong thing, but just don't look at it as that's going to be my nest egg that's going to fund my retirement. It could be the same as buying a designer bag where you get some of the money out, but you're maybe not getting all of it.
Leonard Schlegel, if you're listening to that, that's exactly what he said. He goes, if this is what you want, Catherine Clementova, if this is what you want, this isn't an investment. This is a personal investment for your dream to have X, Y, or Z.
Exactly. Like your domicile is not your retirement fund. Yeah, you want to choose the doorknobs and live there for 30 years and make memories and all those things. But I think we just have to reframe it a little.
Investing is all about thinking about the future. For our listeners who have kids, where do us parents begin with investing for our children?
Well, I will say that if you have kids between 2025 and 2028, make sure that you take advantage of the free $1,000 with the Trump account. I don't think that it's that great of an investment account, but I'm all about free money. So make sure you have to actually open the account, the Trump account, to get the $1,000. So I would say start there if you're a new parent. And then on top of that, I love a 529 fund. Yeah, those are great. Those are for a kid's education. It'll go grow tax free. It'll draw down your taxable income. Really great. Also, if you're someone like, you guys, where you have your own businesses and you're putting your kids to work and they have taxable income, this could also work if your kid's a babysitter or they scoop ice cream or they work at camp. They can open what we call a custodial Roth IRA, which is the same as a regular Roth IRA. So you can take the money out eventually tax free, but it's for kids under 18. And that is really magical because of the power of compound interest, which is basically when you like push a snowball down a hill and it grows exponentially. That's what happens to your money.
You talk about how everyone should be married to the market. What does staying loyal to your investments look like?
I think not looking at them.
But that snowball, that starts to compound and compound in a really good way.
In a really good way, but you can't let fear be your financial advisor. We're in the middle of this like diarrhea lettuce thing where everyone's scared of the lettuce. And because of that, like Walmart had Taylor Farms, whatever, at their stores and pulled it. And Walmart stock tanked. And then Taco Bell, which is owned by Yum Brands, their stock tanked because they had like diarrhea moment. And not to bring up the D word on the pod, I'm so sorry. And but it's like, did the actual long-term value of Walmart go down for the next 20 years because of like this issue that will get resolved? No. So you can't be reactive to the market. You have to think long term. Yeah, the headlines are always crazy.
Being rich to you isn't about having everything. It's about having some of a lot of the things. What does that actually look like in your life right now?
I really thought for a while, Molly, that rich was just like a number in my bank account. And so I prioritized that over everything, like career over physical health, mental health, romantic life. I mean, I always had really good friends. That's always been really important to me. But what I realized is that it's actually a lot harder to have some of a lot of things than a lot of one thing, because when have your plate gets bigger as you get older. And I think it's really, especially as women, we hold so much. And so what I'm really focused on is how can I, have some of a lot of things. And it's really hard. But if you can figure it out, let me know. I'd love the advice.
Okay, rapid fire.
Go to Rich Girl Splurge. That's 100% worth it.
Micro needling with a growth factor.
Love you. Online shopping or in-person shopping?
In person in a perfect world, but obviously online because that's what happens.
Best luxury item you've ever bought?
My Cartier.
One thing you refuse to DIY no matter the cost?
Oh, my hairs. I'm really bad at hair.
I'm so bad at hair.
And I would love to. I'm like, how is this something that I actually have to deal with every day and I have no
So
strategy?
I just got the Dyson
Oh
Air
my God.
How's
Spray.
that going?
Amazing.
Going
your hair-
amazing.
Did you do it
I
today?
actually, no, I didn't do it today. But I did do it at her house, and the first time I ever used it,
Sopping wet.
like from sopping wet hair, straighten it out. I walk in the kitchen, and the best
What
validation,
kind of hair do you have?
like wavy and a lot. And her husband looks at me and he goes, "Did you get your hair done this morning?" And I'm like, I did it myself.
Oh
Like I
my
felt
God.
so validated. I'm
Wow.
obsessed with it.
Okay, wow.
I've never been able to blow out my hair.
We
I have
need
a
a
weekly
tutorial.
it's so good.
You don't
Okay,
need a
love it.
tutorial. That's how easy it is. It's just
Okay.
Brush
wet
your hair and
and you straighten it like a flat iron, but it takes it from like wet hair to dry.
Whoa. Okay. Need.
favorite workout class.
I have a personal trainer named Corey Rowe who makes me do weights, and it's horrible. But
Your
it's-
arms are amazing.
You look amazing.
Your arms are
This
so
is from
perfectly
him.
toned.
Like just literally from like doing one push, like a push up will help a girl out.
Last thing you bought that you regret.
I think we get really screwed with online shopping about return policies. And so I bought a mirror before I knew my boyfriend was moving in, and it's like a little fun. Like it's not, we're trying to combine taste. It's not really like our taste. So maybe more was Haley taste. And it is so expensive to return it. Like I'm literally going to recoup like 50%.
Facebook Marketplace it.
I mean, I might, but it's even with that, it's like I'm selling some stuff there and it's not going so well. Like it's not like a name brand mirror. You know what I mean?
Coffee at home or coffee out?
Like this is so weird, but I drink energy drinks. I drink the Update from Kim Kardashian. I actually love the way, like, the energy that it gives me. It's sort of clean. Like, it's not, like, too much, but yeah.
Carrie Bradshaw or Elle Woods?
I mean, I think they both do a lot of emotional spending, but I like Elle Woods more because I feel like she's, like, more of a hero to, women in biz.
We always ask every guest before they go, if you could give advice to your 10-year-old self, what would it be?
I think just, like, be Haley. Like, it's, hard. I think as women, we try to, like, people please or, like, fit into certain boxes or whatever, but, like, really what our superpower is our individuality. And, even with making content and things like that, it's so easy, and I'm sure people feel this at work, where you are like, "Oh, that person's doing this, and should I do that?" And then you realize, especially with AI too, where you can, like, we're all gonna sound like slop and the same. Having your own opinion and, your own point of view is the most valuable thing.
You're amazing.
You're so amazing.
You guys go home, set up your money dates. Make sure and follow Haley on Instagram and TikTok at Mrs. Dow Jones, and make sure and check out her podcast called Financial Tea. And if you haven't already picked up her book, Future Rich Person, Haley Sachs, you're incredible.
You're incredible. You should come on the show.
Oh,
And if you see me glowing on social media, it's because I'm using
Wise.
Wise Beauty. Yeah.
You're the best.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Lipstick on the Rim with Molly Sims and my ride or die, Emese Gormley. We are so excited to bring you guys along on this journey with us. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Lipstick on the Rim and at Molly B. Sims and at Emese Gormley. Or you can go to my blog where you can dive just a little bit deeper into our favorite products, trends, and more at mollysims.substack.com, and tell me more about Emese Gormley. Don't forget to check out our video episodes on my YouTube channel, Molly Sims. This podcast is a production with Sony Music. Just wanted to give a special thanks to our team, Kyle Fong, Gabby McCormick, Samantha Mellinger, Maya Domick, Chloe Harkins, Third Eye Insights, and of course, everyone at Sony Music. Don't forget to listen and follow wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss out on the fun.